Hello, everybody, and welcome to the MTR Network. I am Shanna. I am here with the Doctor, and we are going to discuss the Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I guess it's webisodes?
Yeah, the
Slingshot.
minisodes. I always think of
Minisodes.
webisodes of YouTube creation, so.
They're minisodes called Slingshot. Before we get into that, we both just found out right before we started recording. We've already been talking for like 20 some minutes because right before we called each other, we both found out that Carrie Fisher passed away. This obviously is really hard for both of us. We're both huge Star Wars fans. You're even more so than me because you know all of the Star Wars things.
Not all of them, but a good number of them.
a good chunk of them.
I grew up with this series. You know, I was a little toddler when my parents took me to the theater to see it. And then I was cognizant enough to remember Empire and Return of the Jedi in the theaters. Because by then I was 6 and 9 respectively. So,
yeah. I, on the other hand, did not watch any of them until I was like in high school. And then I watched all of the original trilogy back to back. I think right before the prequel series came out. My dad wanted me to watch them before we went and saw any of the prequel movies. And before that, it was like that. I think I watched Spaceballs more than I watched Star Wars.
Spaceballs.
Growing up.
Love Spaceballs. Love Spaceballs. Mel Brooks. That's a classic.
Yeah. So I didn't get into the like, I don't know, the glory, I guess, that is Star Wars, until, later. And then, cause the prequels weren't that great. I was excited about Hayden Christensen. I think I'm one of the few people who likes him.
I think he's a good actor. I think just, during the series I didn't like him, but then when I saw his other stuff, he caught a raw deal.
Oh yeah,
when
definitely.
When you look back, with the exception of Ewan, because Ewan has fun with anything he does, everyone else just seemed muted. Like George Lucas says, no, you have to be muted and serious. I mean, even Natalie Portman, I'm like, she's a much better actress than this. Why does she seem so stiff and wooden? Yeah, Lucas did them wrong.
Yeah, and then I don't know. There's just been something about, I know a lot of people are into the cartoons and stuff. I haven't really fully gotten into them, but there was something about the new series starting up, like from Force Awakens, now with Rogue One, where I fell in love again with all of it. And like when I saw Force Awakens, I mean, I was in the theater like crying, like clapping, gasping, like, that moment when Leia first sees Han again and you realize they haven't seen each other for years, and and you realize like Kylo is their son, and like just all those. I know a lot of people, like the few people who don't like that movie or want to shit on it often go like, well, it was just fan service. I'm okay
or
with
cash
it.
grab. It's like, what? Shut up.
I'm okay with it just being fan service. I was so happy to see Carrie Fisher on screen again with Harrison Ford. I was happy to see them doing their press tours and, holding hands and hugging each other. And like, I live for that shit. So this is just a lot. Like, she's the youngest of them, of that original group. And it's just really sad. Like, they're all close. I haven't even looked at, like, the statements that Mark Hamill, I'm sure Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and all of them will have something to say soon. And, I'm just preparing myself for a lot of tears today.
Because I know Peter Mayhew had shouted her out on Twitter, yesterday, was it?
Yeah.
Best wishes, hoping she got better soon. Because the heart attack was on Sunday, and I'm like, you know what? Because I know we said she was stable, but In retrospect, I'm like, she had this heart attack on a plane that was still in the air for 15 minutes before EMTs could get to her.
Mm-hmm. And
So
it's the same thing that happened to Prince too.
Yeah, all I could think is that, I mean, I'm pretty sure they were trying life-saving measures on the plane, but that long without proper oxygen, stable doesn't mean recuperated. And I took stable as like, okay, she's not critical anymore, but
Yeah.
what I will say is this, I'm looking at all the, everyone is shouting her out and it's wonderful, but so a couple of people on Twitter, and I really appreciated this about them, pointed out the fact that everyone's posting these young pictures of her. And one lady posted, this is the layout I remember, and that's her as General Organa from The Force Awakens. But I really love Bossy, and Bossy has been on Insanity Check a few times. I've loved her since she was on Twib back in 2009 and 10 when I was listening then, or 10 and 11. And she was talking about, she had never seen Star Wars, but the way Carrie Fisher lived her life, being very open and unashamed of her mental health challenges and navigating those and succeeding. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cry. To overcoming those meant so much to so many people. So yes, she was this icon for Star Wars and we get it. But as a person, she was just amazing and inspirational to a lot of people who get stigmatized for all the wrong reasons.
And I mean, and she raised a lovely daughter who we all love watching on Scream Queens. And, she
her
had
mom.
Gary, the dog. I love Gary.
Yeah. I'm sure Billy will take Gary.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, she's gone before her mom, Debbie Reynolds, also an amazing actress. Like, that's now, like, a dynasty of actresses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a real shame. She was 60. Mark Hamill is 65 currently, and Harrison Ford is 74.
And she was the baby.
She was the baby. And what has been so sad about so many of these deaths in 2016 is that they are all, it's like either people who were like really old, like people who are like, so and so passes at like 92.
Like the creator of the Big Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 95, and it's like, I was kind of sad, but I'm like, dude,
yeah,
you
like
made the Big
lived.
Mac, and you made the Big Mac, which is a heart attack creator, and you lived to be 95. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, so it's like, it's either that or it's people who are like between like 45 and like 50, 60, which is not that old.
Yeah, I mean, George Michael was only 53.
Yeah. So it's been like people who you're like, oh, that's sad, but they lived a great life. And then other people where you're like, no, this person had way more living left to do.
Oh, and I'm trying to have everybody take Rod from the Black Guy Who Tips approach to 2016. Stop tempting it.
Yeah.
People throwing out like, oh, well, 2016 takes Betty Wright. Can you get her name out your mouth? That's like, see, y'all gonna mess around, and 2016 gonna pop up like Barney from How I Met Your Mother talking about challenge accepted. Stop it.
Yeah.
We got 7 days left. Just stop.
Everyone, yeah, just don't.
Please stop.
Don't talk about who you hope they don't take, because either they'll take them or they'll take somebody who's equally important to you who you weren't thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
This is, yeah. Okay. All right, so we're gonna move into this other thing.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, we had to get it out.
You can't not acknowledge.
It just happened.
You just can't.
Like, really.
And Rogue, I mean, we're in the midst of the revival of Star Wars and getting some great movies from Lucasfilms finally. And she was an integral part of it. She was part of the heart of it. We can't not acknowledge that here.
Okay. So from, one girl power icon onto another,
Yo
set of girl power icons.
yo.
The thing so Slingshot, for those of you who don't know, is a set of minisodes that ABC released about. Did it come out right after the finale?
December 13th.
Okay, December 13th. Um, as this during this kind of interim for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And they're focused around Yo-Yo, but what I really like is that all of the regular agents are involved. Like, instead of trying to do like this like standalone thing where it's just her and she had to carry the whole thing, which I think she could, but instead of doing that, it was really like, no, like she's a part of this larger group and we are going to like acknowledge that and like show where she fits in with this crew. So I really, really appreciated it. It gave us more insight into her character while also filling in the blanks for that time in between end of last season and the beginning of this season with the new director.
Mm-hmm.
So I really, really enjoyed it. How did you feel about it?
I liked it. I wanted a little bit more, but it was nice because I liked Yo-Yo. I liked the introduction of her and Joey, and I was kind of bummed that we didn't get more about them last season.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved that they gave her this standalone piece. I get why they did it the way they did it. They're trying to tell a tight story, and they're doing a good job telling a tight story. And so this is a bit of a departure from that story. So I hope we get more of these since they took Peggy Carter, and we got a Peggy Carter shout out.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, Peggy, why
Yeah.
they kill you off?
I mean, it was perfect because it's 6 episodes, and like you said, the storytelling still is super tight.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's six, I think about 5 minutes for each episode, so really short, 3 to 5 minutes.
It was anywhere from three to I want to say the longest was about 6.5
Yeah,
minutes.
and so they're all like really, really tightly scripted stories. Basically, if you put it together, what would that make the whole thing about a half hour, like a half hour
Yeah.
special? And the way it starts is Yo-Yo is coming to talk to Daisy. So the way this mid-season finale happened, Daisy is now back a part of the team. They had to basically be like, oh no, she was always part of the team. She was just doing undercover stuff. We're all cool. Da, da, da. So Daisy's back a part of the team, and Yo-Yo comes to her and she's like, so now that you're back and everything, how are we going to get our story straight about what happened? And you're like,
Well, what
what
happened?
happened? Like, what do you mean what happened? I don't know what happened. Something happened. And it's also perfect because at the beginning of this season, when you realize that Yo-Yo was helping Daisy, it was like, oh, okay, like that's really cool that they're helping each other. Like it makes sense. They're both Inhumans. They were both going to be part of the Secret Warrior team. But this deepens that relationship and that the reason why they would be working so closely together.
Right. It wasn't just that they were Inhumans.
Yeah. Which is great. Like, yeah,
Sorry.
not just the world building, but the continued relationship building of this show is what really sets it apart. They really focus on the heart of the characters, which I appreciate. So basically, they flashback, and Yo-Yo has just signed or is about to sign the Sokovia Accords. So again, another connection to the larger Marvel universe with Civil War. And basically, the Sokovia Accords say that you can't act without oversight from the government, and that if you do choose to act without oversight from the government, then that is considered a criminal act.
Mm-hmm.
So she's basically coming into S.H.I.E.L.D. to decide whether or not she's going to sign these accords. And the first person she encounters is Coulson. And she's like, basically like, So I'm here to sign these things, and I was down to be a part of your, Secret Warriors team and everything, but that's when I thought you were going to be in charge. I don't know this new dude.
New number, who dis?
Exactly. She was like, no new friends. Like, no new directors. I don't know this dude. Like, you're telling me that I need to go sign something, and I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
So, she's like super not sure what to do. And then she goes and meets up with when she's talking to Coulson, she's like, I'm not sure about this. He gives her Peggy Carter's pin from back when Peggy was an agent, and he's basically like, it's not so much about what you're giving up, it's about becoming a part of a team. He does his like Coulson usual magic.
Look, can I just say something?
Yeah.
Clark Gregg is an attractive dude.
He is. Oh my God. And
it's one of those things where it catches you out of nowhere. Like when we first meet him in Iron Man, he's just this nondescript bureaucrat, and it's like, oh, why do you have to be such a dick? But then I'm just watching him, and I've seen him in other stuff, and I'm like, you are just adorable. And then him and Jennifer Grey together are just adorable.
When he in the mid-season finale, when him and May were talking, and you're like, oh, this might finally happen. like
yes, finally, we've been asking for this.
Clark Gregg is giving awesome sexy vibes right now. Like, all right, Clark, not mad at you. So yeah,
shoot your shot, boo. Shoot your shot.
Yeah, so he's like trying to convince Yo-Yo that this is what she should do, and then she goes. So she tells him, she's like, I have this guy, and it's the guy who killed her cousin. She's like, there's this guy, I think some sort of deal is about to go down with him. I want to go after him. And, Coulson does the Coulson thing that he does. And he's like, well, you need to take that directly to the director. And I think if you give him a chance, you'll see that he's someone who is, amenable to listening to people or whatever. So she tries to do it the good way.
And Mace is just a little, I get it, but I'm like, dude, you talking about filling out forms in triplicate and then getting this form to this department and this form to this department and then doing a threat assessment and then having a meeting to have another meeting to schedule another meeting.
And she's just like, this is...
I just want to go kill him. Can we still kill him?
Like, after I bring him back, can we have all the meetings? But the thing that got me the most, this is the part where I was like, this is why I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She walks in the door to meet him, and he's like, hola.
He tries to talk to her in Spanish.
But it's like the most like white person gringo Spanish ever. Like I don't even speak Spanish that bad, and I'm not a good Spanish speaker. But he was just like,
he wasn't rolling not near.
Yeah, he's like, yo soy Jeffrey Mace.
And she's like, this is painful, just talking
English.
Yeah,
she's like, we can do this in English. I need you to stop butchering my language.
I know.
And then he said something which was like an idiom, and she, he's like saying all this stuff, and he's like, I just need you, John Hancock, and she's like, I don't know who that is. He's like, it just means I need your signature. I was like, why is he so bad at this?
He's an adorable dummy. He's cute, but he's an adorable dummy.
It's like, you're beautiful, but you're simple.
Stay in your lane, sir.
He's the worst. So that happens. She signs the Sokovia Accords. She's not feeling how he does things. So what she realizes, because she had tried to get some information on the guy, and she couldn't because her clearance wasn't the right color. You know, now they have their, like, her clearance was a chartreuse or whatever it needed to be. Whatever color rainbow system they got. So she basically uses her power to steal his key card. Which that was the other thing I also really enjoyed. Like, even though it was minisodes, they still use all their effects.
Mm-hmm.
Like they went there, they went for it. So she like does her little like slingshot run thing and like grabs his key card before he even realizes that it's gone.
Oh, what cracked me up too when she was on her way out the door, she gave him a smile, and as soon as he turned around, she cut her eyes at him.
Because
Like,
he's
you
an
moron.
idiot.
Oh my God, Yo-Yo's the best. I love her so much.
Okay, and so does she see Mac? It's after Fitz and Simmons.
No, it was before.
It was before Fitz and Simmons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because after she left Fitz and Simmons, she ran, May followed her.
Okay.
I just watched it. I think that was the order.
Okay. So
my mind's scrambled.
At some point, either before or after she sees Fitz and Simmons, she sees Mac. And I understand Yo-Yo's frustration even more now. Like,
I know. I'm so glad they explained it, because I'm like, why is she mad at him?
Because during the season, I kept being like, yo, she is really like being extra with him. Like, I was like, it's clear that he likes her. Like, why is she being so like whatever? But now I see. So they have this scene where, you know, he's like, weren't you gonna say goodbye to me or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, I don't know. Like, we haven't really been talking. And he's like, I asked to be your handler. And she was like, well, I don't know if that's because you want to, like, keep tabs on me, or is it? And he's like, no, I thought it was so that we could spend more time together, and da, 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 da. So basically what Mac has been doing this whole time is, like, flirting with her, not outright telling her that he likes her, but then doing these things to, like, stay near her and kind of being, like, I don't know. I think he's just one of those guys that doesn't.
15-year-old boy.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to express his feelings. So just instead of just coming right out and saying, I like you, let's go on a date, he keeps doing things to be near her, but then not just telling her he likes her. So right. I see why she's pissed.
Mm-hmm. Like, are we not adults here, man? Come on, son.
She's like, did I not learn a whole entire language so that we could communicate better? Like, why are we?
What are you doing?
Like,
what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. So I get it now. It makes, like, way more sense now.
She has every right to be pissed.
So that they have this conversation. They kind of leave it with, like, we should go out, but clearly Mac never followed up on that. Shame. Shame on him. He's grown. Then she goes to see Fitz and Simmons. Well, really what she goes to do is she goes to use the computer in the lab, and she's using Mace's key card to find out about this guy. And Fitz and Simmons do not notice that she is blatantly stealing information off of this computer because they're too busy arguing about whether or not about living together on the base and how they're too crowded in their space.
Mm-hmm.
So they're, like, doing the, like, Fitz-Simmons thing. And you also get the same thing that you got at the very beginning of the season, where Fitz is not feeling this new director and this new color-coded system and all these other things. And you see, like, Simmons, just like she was at the beginning of the season, like, she's all gung-ho about it. She's like, let's get you your laminate. Like, she...
She's all perky as they walk around talking about breakfast nooks and shit.
Yeah, she's like, let's get your laminate. And then like, so at one point they're about to see what she's doing on the computer. So she uses her power again to knock over a bunch of stuff on the other side of the lab. And then Simmons is all like, let's keep this lab tip top, guys. Like, it's so extra. She's like whipping everybody into shape. You can totally see how she became like the director's right hand man, because she's like so gung ho about all of this stuff. She's like, yeah, let's do it, yeah. And Fitz is like, this is all so dumb, but I love this woman. And then, so Yo-Yo is the one who suggests to them that they should get an apartment together, which is what we saw at the beginning of the season, with Simmons looking for apartments. And Fitz is mad at her. Why? I couldn't tell if he was mad. He says he's mad because he's like, oh, now she's just going to be obsessed with finding apartments. But I was also wondering if he was already thinking about asking her to move in, and he felt like Yo-Yo kind of like stepped on his toes.
I don't know. That is a good question. Because he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? Stop talking.
Like,
Or yeah, I'm wondering if that was it though. Maybe he wanted to be the one that kind of broached that subject, kind of as a move towards marriage, which I'm sure that's, he got marriage. Fitz got marriage on his mind.
yeah.
And maybe, she kind of messed that up for him.
Yeah, I think he was already like on that track, and then like he felt like Yo-Yo like jumped the gun on him. Like, he's like, I have plans. And he's just like, so then she leaves. So she gets the information that the guy is in Baltimore, and she goes to the Quinjet hangar, and I think she's trying to figure out how, because she's supposed to be going back to LA, and they have this, basically the tracker on her, so they'll know if she's someplace that she's not supposed to be.
Yeah, it's one of those things where more and more the Sokovia Accords for Inhumans feels like home monitor, like a work release program than anything else.
Yeah, that's what's like so messed up about it, is you're like, I get, no, because you don't do that with your regular agents. That's what always happens. That's why you always have all these stories where it's like an agent goes missing and he went missing in this general area. We had like the last time he checked in was here, and now we have to figure out where the agent is. So I can't even say like they track regular agents. Like, no, you track Inhumans. So yeah. So she's trying to figure out how she's gonna go where she's not supposed to be, basically. And then like May, that was one of the better like endings into a new episode. Like, basically, like May comes up to her and she's like, so the director's key card is missing. And Yo-Yo's like, and then it's like, and it like ends, and then it comes back, and May is basically like, okay, so the director's key card is missing. You were one of 3 people to meet with him today, and then the next time it was used on the base was at Fitz and Simmons' lab, which was where you were. Like, so
in case you did not know.
So she's like, yeah, she's like, you need to be smarter. Like, and then that's kind of when you realize that like May isn't about to like turn her in or anything, like, but May is telling her like, you need to be a better spy. Like, May is almost like teaching her. Like, she's like, it's not so much that you did this, like we all do shit like this, but if you're gonna do it, you gotta get better at it. So then she like tells her like to get on the jet, and like Yo-Yo gets on the jet and she thinks it's going to LA, and then the pilot gets on the jet and he's like, oh, I didn't know I had a passenger, and she's like, yeah, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to LA, and he's like, this Jed is going to Baltimore. And she's like, oh, yeah, Baltimore. That's what I meant when I said LA. Yeah, Yo-Yo has to get way better at this.
She's terrible at this. She's absolutely terrible at this.
It's so ridiculous.
It's all up. Shoot, blame Colson. He should have stayed in charge and trained her on some shit.
Ridiculous.
Do better.
And it was funny. So by this time, it's like on episode like 4, I think, by this time. So I was kind of like, wait, but we haven't seen Daisy at all. And this whole thing started with her being like, we have to talk about what happened. So I was like, when is Daisy going to show up? And then that's finally like when you realize like the two different stories are going to come together. So she gets to Baltimore and she finds the guy that killed her cousin, and he is about to make a deal. The deal he's about to make is with the watchdogs, who Daisy has been tracking as Quake. And it's some sort of gun, like ray gun type thing that basically like disintegrates Inhumans. Or we don't really get to see what it does to Inhumans, but it disintegrates the dudes. People. Yeah, it disintegrates the dudes. So I can't imagine the effect is that different on a human. So she beats up the guy, and they have that like a whole like thing, and they're talking in Spanish, and she's sort of like, "You would never." This is my really bad. I shouldn't do this. That's like
no, don't do this.
But it's like, it's like that, for some reason, it's like that when people who are like Spanish speaking are like talking in these dramatic scenes, it always feels like a telenovela to me. Like, where she's just like, no, like, and he's like, you go ahead. Like, and basically he tries to give some like rank reason why he became like this horrible person. He's like, like, the Americans like used our country and now you work for them and we couldn't even be real police anymore because of how the Americans corrupted our government and like all this other stuff. Just like all these like stupid super villainy reasons for why he's horrible. And then Daisy comes in and like saves her. So then, the two of them do their like usual like beating everybody up. And then when Daisy isn't in the room, one of the watchdogs comes in and he has the gun and he's about to shoot it at Yo-Yo. So she uses her power to like slingshot, and the blast ends up hitting the guy that she wanted to kill. And when like when she's done using her power, she's the one holding the gun because she grabs it from the watchdog guy. So then when Daisy comes in, it basically looks like Yo-Yo was the one who killed the guy. And she doesn't tell Daisy that that's not the truth.
Yeah.
So, and I can't remember what happens to the watchdog guy. Does he just run away?
I felt like, yeah, she told him to leave, or she was going to fry his ass too.
Yeah, so he just runs away. So when it comes in, it just looks like Yo-Yo shot the guy. So then it like fast forwards to present day, and Daisy, she uses her like, hacker skills to basically hack the database and erase that Yo-Yo was ever there in Baltimore. But what Yo-Yo tells her is she was like, I want you to know that I didn't kill that guy. Like, I'm not a killer. And which I thought was also a really nice emotional scene between her and Daisy, because like Daisy has quote unquote killed people, right?
Yes.
So I think she holds a lot of guilt over the people that she's killed, whether it be, I don't think she's ever killed anybody purposefully, and like she's also had to like quote unquote kill people who are close to her, or like people who are closer or have sacrificed themselves for her. So it was really interesting to see like Yo-Yo kind of like confess to her that she can't kill someone, like she's not a killer, which also makes me wonder in the second half, are we gonna see that like tested with Yo-Yo?
That is a good question.
Um,
I'm hoping I just loved this, and I'm hoping this is a way to introduce that we get a little bit more Yo-Yo in the second part of the season.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that this was what all this was. Not like, oh, we'll give her this thing so we don't have to show her, but we'll give her this thing to flesh out her character before we start using her more. That's what I'm hoping. But yeah, so they have like that whole moment, and did she give the pin to Daisy?
She tried to.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. I know she tried to. I'm trying to remember if Daisy took it, and I feel like Daisy did.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Daisy did accept it.
And so, it was another one of those moments of like, we're all a team again.
Oh, but here's the thing. If she gave Daisy the pin and Daisy gets caught with the pin, how are they going to explain that?
Well, no, because what's the name gave them the pin? Coulson.
Right, but he gave it to Yo-Yo. He didn't know Yo-Yo was in touch with Daisy.
No, but this was in present day that she gave it to Daisy.
Oh.
It wasn't in the
Why do I think
flashback.
she gave it to her in that warehouse? Lord,
No, it was in present
my brain
day.
is scrambled. My brain is scrambled.
So it should be interesting. They're definitely setting up like we're all a team now. They're filled in the blanks of what happened in between seasons. And basically you get to see not how everybody met the director, because some of them had obviously met them before, but how we kind of got to this place of like Coulson being back out in the field, and Fitz and Simmons, and how Simmons ended up becoming like the right-hand girl and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, overall, it was a really nice little miniseries. It was definitely worth, the half hour that it takes to watch. And really tight writing. Like, I just love how well they know these characters now. That's what makes watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fun, is that they know these characters really, really well.
And they really put the effort towards them. They don't just half-ass it, like, oh, we're going to really put all our efforts into this, and later for that. I love that.
Yeah. And nothing is, I don't want to, like, hate on another show to build up another one, but nothing is filler with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ever.
Nothing.
Somehow they managed to do 20-some episodes, just like every other network show, and not one episode is filler. And even when they have this, which is basically filler, like, in between seasons, it's, like, so purposeful. Like, it tells a specific story that gives, it's like Rogue One. It tells a specific story that gives you a point of view that you didn't get to see before, and fleshes out all of the characters in your universe. It's just really well done. So, yeah, we thought we'd fill in a little bit of the blanks for you guys. I don't think Chris and Deepalm had planned on covering this at all. And, it's the holidays.
And if so, we beat you to it. No.
I know, right? And it's the holidays, so we had time.
Yep.
So, yeah, good times. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Slingshot. You can find all the episodes on the ABC site. It's 6 episodes total. And definitely give it a try if you haven't already watched it. If you have watched it, let us know what you thought about it. You can always hit us up on Twitter, at MTR Network. Hit us up individually. I'm at Shadibonmonts. And you want to give them your Twitter?
The Doctor is in 2015, THEDRISIN 2015. I mostly lurk, so if you follow me, just be prepared for that. It says I'm an observer like September, and if you watch Fringe, you know what that means. If you haven't watched Fringe, hint, hint, Chris, get to it.
Of course. Yeah, I was suggesting stuff to him, and then I was like, let me stop, because people keep suggesting stuff to me too, as if I don't already have a long list of stuff I need to get through already.
Look, I was gonna try to finish up. What was I? Okay, so I was watching. What was I watching? Oh my God, Hannibal. I was gonna try to finish up Hannibal. I was gonna hit The Man in the High Tower season 2 because season 1 was excellent, and I wanted to see season 2. And then the incident happened in November, and suddenly I'm like, this is a little too close to home. I don't know if I'll ever be prepared to watch season 2.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're living it.
Yeah.
And then Hannibal was a little too heavy, so I think I might just watch Crazy Head again.
Oh, I am finishing up right now. Like you guys wanted our TV, our vacation binge list. Right now I am finishing up Ballers. I'm gonna watch all of Vice Principals, and then I'm gonna watch The Night of.
Oh, that's what I gotta finish. I watched the first 2 episodes, but again, heavy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm starting with Ballers and Vice Principals, working my way up to The Night of, because I know it's gonna be some deepness.
Oh, and I'm so late to the party because I'm poor. I keep telling y'all I'm poor, but I finally finished the Vader series, the comics, the 5 comic arc. So good.
I'll probably check that out after I'm done with all the stack that I brought with me to my mom's house.
So just as a heads up, many of you listening know this, so this is really for Shanna, so just ignore this part. It basically takes place between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Coming off of Rogue One. They're just going to do all the stuff in between. I love this. Keep doing this. Somebody asked, if Disney should redo the prequel movies. And I was like, I'm good. Just let them be what they are. And just keep doing these in-between stories, like filling in these blanks. I really like that.
I agree.
And we're going to sign off. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you're enjoying.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hope you're enjoying your holidays. Hope you're enjoying your leftovers. I've been eating leftovers every day. They're delicious.
I did not make a big Christmas dinner because I'm like, look, we got toys. Y'all got toys. Y'all got gift cards. Y'all got me out my house at a store that I don't like stores because people are the worst. So I said I'll make a big New Year's dinner instead.
Oh, you're good. My mom has literally cooked all of the things, so we have nothing but food in the house. It's like I went out to hang out with some friends from high school yesterday, and I was like, I ordered food, but I ordered like an appetizer because I was like, there's so much food in the house right now. I feel guilty eating like outside of the house. There's just no point. So I hope you guys are all enjoying your food comas. If you feel the need, go have a good cry. We probably all need that.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Take care. See you. Happy New Year.